Hey everyone, Thomas coming to you from MGMClassicCars.com showroom here in Addison, Illinois. Today I have the pleasure of going over this driver quality, really clean car, 1972 Chevrolet Chevelle Malibu that's been finished in a beautiful blue color with white racing stripes, as you can see. Take a listen to this thing really quick. I'm going to shut it off and then we'll talk about the car a little bit more. Sounds good, huh? Yeah. Really big curb appeal. Really nice stance. Sitting on these beautiful American racing wheels. You gotta admit, they look good. Yeah. Nice clean interior, and we'll go over that in a minute. Okay. So as you guys know, these Chevelles are probably the #1 selling muscle cars on the planet. I've been doing this for going on 25 years now, actually 26. And this is the most increased value car on the planet. Why? Why is that? Well, it's one of the most popular muscle cars in its era. And that's the reason why. Everybody wants a Chevelle. Now, this one here is just a simple driver quality car. Okay? Yes, it does have a big block 454 automatic trans, 10-bolt rear end, front power disc brakes. Now, this particular car was a factory, or should I say is a factory air-conditioned car. Okay, but we're going to get into that in a little bit. The body on the car, the paint's nice, okay? The body on the car for a 72 is in really, really good condition. If you notice, this is that crisp line that runs all the way down through the door and to the fender. If you guys didn't know that, just pay attention to that crisp line, okay? That's what gives this car a superb muscle car look. The designers back in the 60s and 70s really did a beautiful job, and why this car is so iconic and so popular, okay? Now, mind you, this is not a brand new, fresh rebuild, Barrett Jackson quality car, okay? This is just a nice driver quality car. I did point out in my photos a couple areas that have a little touch-up around the car. So please refer to my photos in regards to that, okay? Underneath the Chevelle Malibu is in very good condition. Excuse me, I got a little cold. And again, you can see those photos on my website. This particular car has black tinted windows all around, okay? The weather stripping on the car has all been replaced. Okay, all this weather stripping, okay? Let's see, what do you guys want to go? You want to go over the interior real quick? Let's do that. Now, I always look at these door jambs here. Here's the weather stripping. This one looks really good. It's been replaced at some time. Again, it's not perfect, but they're good. And it doesn't need to be replaced, in my opinion. But these are original pinch welds here, okay? How they came from the factory. I mean, that tells me this car is not rotted out, okay? Doors appear to be original to this car. Okay, and then I always look at these door jambs, the inner and outer door jambs, and they look pretty good. Okay, somebody replaced the door sill plate, brand new there. The interior, obviously, in a 1972, never came this way. Okay, yeah, they did come with bucket seats, but this is a custom interior. That's been done along with the door panels, as you can see. Pretty cool, like it. It's different. It's a little bit more modern looking. Back seat. Headliner's tight. The The light does function up there. Nice dash pad, radio, okay? And also the other side, as far as the door is concerned, that I showed you on those original pinch welds. Let's walk over here and take a look at those. And again, that's one of the things that I always look at, because that's where they rust a lot. Okay, this is original pinch welds as well. Inner and outer door jambs are in very good condition as well. Okay. Let me grab the keys and I'm going to pop the trunk. Now, as far as the trunk is concerned here, first and foremost, you know, they painted everything nice. All the weather stripping, like I said, has been replaced. But when I look at for the factory stampings here on the quarters, and if you didn't know that, if this was an original quarter, you would have numbers right over here on both sides, and this side as well, right about this area. Unfortunately, at some point, or should I say, fortunately, they did a nice job. But these both quarter panels have been replaced, okay, at some points. But again, let's keep in mind this car is 50-year plus car. But if you look at the door lines there, okay, the gaps, it's not bad. I mean, they did install them pretty good on both sides. So that's the reason why I even purchased this Chevelle, because first off, it's very affordable, because these Chevelles are out the roof as far as prices. But the trunk, again, if I lift up the mat, it's very solid, okay? Very solid throughout. You got your spare tire here, okay? So that's all good. Yeah, okay. Now, let's walk over to the engine compartment. Let me pop that open for you. There you go, guys. A whopping 454, 360 horse. Factory AC car, as we discussed earlier. You have your power steering pump here, headers, and your power disc brakes with your master cylinder and booster. Your Edelbrock Performer 2 aluminum intake with the 4-barrel carburetor, okay? No cooling issues. The radiator does cool the motor. No issues there, okay? But I do want to go over, well, stock suspension, okay? Now, throughout the years, you know, people have asked me, hey, what's the difference, you know, known fact, like what's the difference between a 70, 71, 72 Chevelle? And there are some differences, okay? One thing that's very, very similar in these iconic American muscle cars in this era, like between 1968 and 1972, okay, all the frames on these Chevelles are the same during those 4-year span, okay? The frames are all the same, except if it's a convertible, then the frames are a little bit thicker. But going back to the 2-door hardtop coupes, in which this is, all those frames are the same. Now, the difference in body style, okay, which I'll show you here, and keep this in mind. So between 1970 and 1972, between those years, the body of the car, okay, the metal, the body of the car is similar. What do I mean by similar? Well, very simple. The fender, the hood, the doors, the rear quarters, the trunk lid, they all mix and match between a 70 and 72, okay? But one of the primary differences is in 1970, the front end had 4 lights. So 2 on this side, 2 on that side, okay? And the marker lights were under, or they were inside of that front chrome bumper, okay? And another difference between a 70 and a 71 or 72, in 1970, the back chrome bumper was a square. One square on this side and one square on that side. In 71 and 72, these are the bumpers that they used, okay? This particular bumper on this particular car is original, okay? So that's one of the differences. But if you look at these cars from a side profile, they look almost identical, okay? So there's a known fact about Chevelles. Okay, now this particular, again, Chevelle Malibu, okay, which I'm going to go over the VIN number and part of the cow tag. And what is that? Well, the cow tag tells you where this car was built, where was it born, what week, what year, blah, blah, blah. The VIN number can tell you a couple other things, like, for example, when you look at the letter 1 there, okay, that tells you that it's obviously a Chevrolet. The letter D is going to tell you that it's a Malibu, okay? The number 37 tells you that it's a two-door sport coupe. And the letter H tells you what original engine came in this particular car. And the engine that came in this particular car is an H code 350 L65 with a 2-barrel. Obviously, we know right now this car is a big block 454 replacement motor with an Edelbrock 4-barrel carburetor and an Edelbrock 2.0 aluminum intake with headers. Moving on past the letter H is the number 2. The number 2 stands for this car is a 1972. The letter R tells you where was this car built. The letter R tells you that this car was built in Arlington, Texas. Now, in 1972, okay, and I'll get to those last 6 numbers there. In 1972, there were a grand total of 631,661 of these cars built, okay? Now, this number car is 522,312. And that's what those last 6 numbers on the VIN mean, okay? So that is kind of a little bit more of a history about the car. I got the car from a wholesaler down in Tennessee. Big time guy, has a lot of cars, and he finds them in this condition for me. And again, this is a driver quality car, guys. It's priced as it. It's not a Barrett Jackson $100,000 car. Absolutely not. But it does look really cool going down the road or going to a car show or just cruising around town. I mean, you know, it's pretty cool. You heard it. I can't really drive it today because it is very, very cold here in Illinois. Chicago suburbs is where we're at here in Addison. So a little bit more about this car. It's got 63,398 miles showing on the odometer. Okay. The turn signals, headlights, brake lights, wipers, radio, all that stuff is functional. We check the oil, we check the coolant, brake fluid, power steering fluid, tranny fluid, tack, temp, oil gauge, fuel gauge, all of that works. Okay, now I didn't drive it today. I drove it a couple days ago, and it does drive well. Okay, it does drive good. The only thing that I would say would have to get fixed, or if you want, would be the horn. Okay, the horn has to be fixed on this car to pass any inspection if you have that in your town. So we will fix the horn on this car, okay? So keep that in mind. You guys know everything about it. And I hope you give us a call. This one is definitely MGM certified here with my mechanic, going through the car, talking about the car, servicing the vehicle, and we're selling you a nice car. We want you to be happy with the car. We want to tell you everything about the car. So please take a look at my photos. I really want you guys to study those photos. Sorry about that. We got cut off. So if you guys want to drive in, you're more than welcome to come over. And if it's a nice day, we'll take you for a test drive on a nice day here at the dealership. You would have to make an appointment. Or if you just, hey, I want to buy the car, Tom, ship it to me. It's not a problem. We can definitely do that. But again, I want you guys to be sure on what you're buying. And that's my reason for doing these videos in depth, okay? Because I want you guys to know all about it. So please look at my photos all around the car. I believe there's over 100 photos. And listen, call me with any questions. But please don't call me and ask me, do the wipers work? Really? Just pay attention, because this car's not $500. So pay attention. Listen to what's been said here, what works and what we're doing and how the quality of the car is. And I will give you my opinion towards a little bit later towards this video about the car, okay? Now, driving ability, very good. Body and paint, very good. What do I mean by very good? Well, guys, we got cars that are $400,000, okay? Now, that paint is $150,000. So, yes, it's excellent. This paint, $7,500, okay? It's very good, but it's not, again, a Barrett Jackson car, okay? So I'm going to rate this a 7.5, 8 out of a 10, okay? That should give you some idea, all right? So again, if you have any other questions that I missed, maybe something that I'm just not describing or I forgot, you can text or call me anytime. My number is 847. Well, if you don't have a pen, go get one. Okay, you can text me. My area code is 847-848-1850. Now, all of these cars that you see here at MGM Classic Cars are owned by the dealership. We really do not consign cars unless it's a friend or we have a customer who traded something in, which we still own. But we have over 190 cars in stock here in 2 showrooms at our dealership, okay? And that's why we're by appointment only, because we want to spend a little time with you going over the car if you decide to come over. Again, if not, text me your zip code, and I'll be more than happy to send you a quote for delivery right to your driveway, okay? So keep that in mind. My name is Thomas again. I really thank you for spending the time here with me. And obviously, you guys are going to go and check out the photos, please, on my 72. And hopefully we'll talk. Again, Thomas coming to you from MGMClassicCars.com in Addison, Illinois. You can call or text anytime. My number is 847-848-1850. Guys, gals, thanks for watching.